What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Lesser Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, an interesting video for you here on the channel. Today is Paul Heyman secretly about to turn on Roman Reigns? We have a few things I need to say before this video gets started. One, I record videos a different way, where you see a kind of presentation almost, and I want to ask you, I've tried to record videos like this. It looks a little bit better, in my opinion, but the views haven't showed that they've been so friendly to me. So, do you like videos like this? Do you want me to go back to kind of old style? I'm trying to change things up. We're trying to get a little more professional here. I'm trying to become a YouTuber. You know what I mean? So let me know what you think about that. And the other thing, I'm recording this before Survivor Series. I'm going to hopefully upload this before Survivor Series. I have a weird schedule coming up. And so, with that being said, there's a lot of question marks. I haven't seen the Raw. That's also came out before this. Maybe some issues will be answered here. But I have some predictions, I have some theories, and let's just get started. First, you might be kind of confused. Why do I think Paul Heyman's going to kind of turn on Roman Reigns? Let's kind of give a recap of what's been happening. So recently we had on SmackDown, Roman Reigns has been trying to form this team for a Bloodline versus Bloodline War Games, but it's not really Roman Reigns that's forming it. It's really Jimmy. Let's be honest here, it's really Jimmy, and then Jay brought in Sami Zayn. So Jimmy has been trying to build this bloodline back up, and Roman has been sitting back on his phone trying to get the wise man. And he called the wise man recently, and his phone line was disconnected, where you could say, oh, well, his phone line disconnected because Solo broke his phone, which that's not how a phone line works, but whatever, we'll go with that. So I think there's kind of been this interesting scenario with, why is Paul Heyman's phone line disconnected? Is it because of stomping on the phone? Which is crazy because, again, that's not how a freaking phone line works and people don't realize that. Or is it something else? Which I always thought maybe it's something else. But we'll get to that in a little bit. So then we have this interesting case that's been going on with Roman trying to get the wise man, and finally the wise man shows up for some reason. I mean, Roman didn't even call him. Roman didn't even get him. So he came here for some reason. Now there's rumors and kind of, not rumors, more like ideas that's been thrown around. Maybe it's because of Jimmy. He gave a wink in the ring to Jimmy or Sammy potentially. So maybe it was Jimmy. But he brought in CM Punk, which was one of his original guys. You look at Brock Lesnar, you look at CM Punk, you look at Roman Reigns as Paul Heyman guys. And he calls back on the favor that Paul Heyman asked him a while back to please help me and please take me with you. And CM Punk is like, I will always be a Paul Heyman guy, and he brings back Paul Heyman. So now we're here, and we're kind of in this interesting scenario that Roman Reigns didn't really call on him. Paul Heyman didn't really talk to Roman Reigns, brought in CM Punk to help in this Bloodline storyline. And there's kind of been this interesting case scenario of what is going to happen and what is going on and what is Paul Heyman wearing. I say that to go into my next transition of why do I think Paul Heyman is going to turn on Roman Reigns, or what's going to happen at War Games potentially. Now, I'm just going to be real. I didn't upload my reaction to, of course, when it happened, when everyone saw Paul Heyman come out. But when I saw Paul Heyman in the red handkerchief, I'm immediately thinking, oh my God, this guy's with Solo, because he looks exactly like Solo. Does it make any sense for him to be with Solo? No, it does not. It doesn't make sense for Solo to have the wise man next to him when he literally threw him through a table. Why would he be with Solo? Doesn't make sense. You could say, oh, Paul Heyman's dressed in red to show that he's with the Bloodline. Well, Paul Heyman would dress in a suit. It's Paul Heyman. We all know this is the guy that mentally knows what exactly to do, how to leave hints, how to leave Easter eggs with the whole entire community to give hints of what's coming up next. He would be in a suit. The dress is weird. The dress and style is weird. And then you have to think, why was he not like there telling Roman Reigns, I'm coming there? Why was he not? And also backstage, didn't really hug Roman Reigns when they were leaving. Hugged everyone else but Roman Reigns. There's just an interesting things that keep going on that makes you feel something is up. But what is that something? And that's what we're going to discuss. I think Paul Heyman has a valid reason to turn on Roman Reigns. When you look at Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns didn't really come to save Paul Heyman. It's not like the next week he showed up and said, hey, you just destroyed my wise man. He allowed him to get destroyed. And there was multiple weeks where he's like, I'm dying here. Someone take me. And no one did. No one helped him. So I'm kind of in this weird area where Roman has kind of screwed over these people and he just expects them to be good and to really fight for him. And it doesn't really make any sense here. Let's be honest. There's no apologizing. I was going to say apologies. There's no apologies. There's nothing that's been going on to help a Roman Reigns. And it's really just been Roman sitting in the back again and allowing everyone else to do it. That's why I don't think they're going to win War Games. You can't just form a family and just hope they win. I know you have CM Punk on your team, but let's be honest here. The Bloodline has been together for, feels like forever. They feel good with Bronson Reed. They are more certified than a team of, OG Bloodline members that just randomly formed. I feel like you have to put the power and the momentum into them. And then you have, oh my gosh, I just died in my camera. And then you have the interesting scenario where, Paul Heyman shows up. And now, you kind of screwed Paul Heyman. You didn't help him at all. So he could be gone. Now, is Paul Heyman going to just say, screw you, Roman Reigns, I did this for the one time, and then leave with CM Punk? I don't think he goes with CM Punk. It doesn't make a lot of sense to have CM Punk kind of have a wise man. I think CM Punk is going to go after Seth Rollins. That is set in stone. So where does Paul Heyman go from here? The one thing that I, in my whole life, have known about Paul Heyman is that this guy is a heelish character and he is a diva for some power. He wants all the power in the world. He wants to be with the best player. He wants to be with whoever the best superstar guy is. He wants to be the top. And so when I'm thinking, okay, Paul Heyman is in this dress. He's not really going to be with the bottom of the guys. He's going to be at the top. You're automatically probably thinking, okay, so that means he's probably with The Rock. And it makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm interested in this angle that they're going to do. Why is the line disconnected? I originally thought maybe it's because The Rock took his phone and The Rock's in power and the wise man is now answering to The Rock. Maybe it's because, I don't know, maybe that's something with that. But I generally do believe that what we're going to find out is that Roman Reigns doesn't have the power anymore. He's not the tribal chief anymore. The Rock is. The Rock is the guy who has all the power. The Rock is the guy who's the tribal chief. And the wise man finds this out later in life and starts going with The Rock more. And maybe this is going to set up an interesting scenario of Roman is going to take down Paul Heyman and the people that kind of have been screwing him over, and he needs to bring back the actual family and actually apologize and say, look, I was wrong, I'm sorry, and get his power back to get his wise men back. It's kind of an interesting way where you don't really know what Paul Heyman is doing. It doesn't really make sense for Paul Heyman to be with The Rock, but if you want someone that can be the mic for The Rock, be there when The Rock is not there, Paul Heyman's the guy you go for. And I am interested in also seeing what's going to happen with Solo if Paul Heyman is with The Rock, because they're going to have to explain why Solo threw him in a table if Paul Heyman is with The Rock. So there's that interesting dilemma there. You're going to have to explain probably why Paul Heyman is now with The Rock. Honestly, if he wasn't there before, maybe he finds out that, Roman Reigns isn't the tribal chief anymore. Whatever it might be, something's up. Something's up with Paul Heyman. It's likely to be, screwing over Roman Reigns. But what could it be? And I think it is power. We know Paul Heyman is a character for power. And you can't tell me that Paul Heyman is going to stick by a Roman Reigns who hasn't gotten any power, doesn't have any more power anymore, and has lost to Solo Sikoa. He's gotten pinned by Solo Sikoa. So I don't know. I feel like we're going to see Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman potentially have a crazy, probably one-on-one at War Games. Maybe there's something that's, Paul Heyman won't actually get involved into War Games, but maybe pulls up The Rock or says something about The Rock before War Games or during War Games, and then The Rock shows up, and that's how they lose, is that The Rock shows up and Solo wins. I don't know what it could be. There's going to be some interesting scenarios for sure. Maybe it is, Roman beating Solo and then Roman saying, I one-on-one you for, tribal chief. And then that's where we see Roman get screwed. I don't know what it could be, but we'll have to see. This was kind of a yapping video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.